From the studios of Farm Journal Broadcast, this is U.S. Farm Report.
Well, welcome to U.S. Farm Report. We're back in the studios this weekend, and here's what's in store over the next 60 minutes. The Mississippi River is now at a record low, posing problems for moving grain this harvest.
I think it's had a bigger impact on the soybean market and soybean cash prices, basis bids, especially if you're near the river and you've got river delivery locations. That's where it's been the worst.
As harvests in areas like South Dakota have been quick, we'll get a check of yields from the field in an I-80 harvest update. The Biden administration is tapping into oil reserves, but the U.S. now only has 25 days of diesel supplies left. Looking to flip your soils? We may just have a recipe for success. And in John's world,
everybody's building a chip fab.
Well, a lot of news to get to this weekend. The Mississippi River in Memphis now sets at the lowest level ever. The National Weather Service reporting it's a negative 10.75. This means the level is below the agreed upon zero level. The previous low record was set back in 1988. And because of the low levels, companies are not loading as much cargo onto ships, and that includes agricultural products so that they can travel safely and not bottom out. Now, according to the American Commercial Barge Line, the industry has also agreed to a 25 barge tow max size. That's a maximum of 38% reduction in capacity. And another river has reached its lowest point. The Platte River has reportedly dried up completely in parts of central Nebraska. Just look at these images. August and September, those were extremely dry months for the state, with just about 1.5 inches of rain falling in Lincoln. That's the least amount of rain for that stretch since 1894. 98% of the state remains in some sort of drought, with over a third in the extreme or worse category. And farther west, the Colorado River Basin, which irrigates much of the Southwest, is currently weathering the effects of the mega drought. A new study says the mega drought has broken yet another record. According to research published in the science journal Nature, from 2000 to this year, the drought has marked the driest period in the Southwest since at least 800 AD. The study goes on to say the drought will likely persist through this year, matching the duration of the mega drought of the late 1500s. Well, we're now starting to get an idea of the price tag of agricultural losses due to the recent hurricane. We're hearing as much as $1.5 billion in ag may have been lost in Florida due to Hurricane Ian. The University of Florida releasing its preliminary report saying over 1.2 million acres of agricultural land was impacted by the high-end Category 4 storm. The report says even though the Florida coast bore some of the worst impacts of the storm, the strong winds and rain battered a wide area of the peninsula. They're reporting citrus crop losses up to $304 million, depending on the level of fruit drop, and damage to branches as well as other impacts. But the entire state's impact is more like 375,000 acres of citrus that was damaged. Vegetables and melons up to 394 million. Livestock operations and producers of animal products, those are expected to suffer losses of up to 222 million.
We're hearing some very high percentages being reported in the news. It's not completely devastating to the entire agriculture industry in the state. That does not mean that individual operations won't have very different impacts, gets on par with or will potentially be similar to what we experienced with Hurricane Irma.
However, court says they don't have good information yet on the depth and duration of flooding, so their damage assessment actually could go up. Well, gasoline prices are on the rise again. That's as the Biden administration is announcing some additional steps that the administration says they hope will help relieve some of that price pain. The Biden administration hopes the move will help bring costs down, but also soften the recent production cuts announced by OPEC plus nations. The president announcing plans to release another 15 million barrels of oil from the U.S. Strategic Reserve. The White House says this would meet his promise to release a total of 180 million barrels over 6 months. The administration also detailing a new strategy for eventually buying oil to replenish the stockpile, saying it would aim to do so when prices are at $70 a barrel. But some critics say that move could come at a cost. That's as diesel supplies currently set at only 25 days worth. The Biden administration calling it unacceptably low. Retail prices are on the rise again the past 2 weeks for diesel, but that is as diesel demand is surging, as government data revealed this week that supplies remain at the lowest season level ever. The shortage of heat and trucking is a key worry for the Biden administration. Well, the administration also making an announcement this week of helping some who are falling behind on farm loan repayment. USDA announcing a program to provide $1.3 billion in debt relief to about 36,000 farmers. The program is funded through the Inflation Reduction Act, the money allocated toward assisting distressed borrowers of direct or guaranteed loan administered by USDA. The agency carries loans and loan guarantees for about 115,000 farm borrowers who cannot get credit elsewhere. 11,000 of those have been at least 60 days behind on payments.
To give those 11,000 borrowers the peace of mind that they don't have to be concerned or worried about the possibility of foreclosure.
The money announced this week is the first round of payments designed to help farmers hit by pandemic-induced market disruptions or climate-driven natural disasters, including drought, to stay in business or also to re-enter farming. That's it for the news. Well, those low river levels that we talked about along the Mississippi. Coming up next, we have a video that really you will not believe until you see it, as we also check in with Matt Urasovic to see if any rain relief is in sight. Please stay with us.